Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the international webinar event for ethical leadership in business building a culture of integrity. First, I like to introduce myself. I'm Novita and will host you for today's event. Now, let me welcome our special guest for today. Welcome to the Honorable Dr. Teguh Santoso, as a Rector of STEKOM University, Indonesia, to the Honorable Ms. Rahmania, as a Head of Management Department from STEKOM University, Indonesia, to the Honorable Mr. Ereso Negi, as a Lecturer in Management Department from Oromia State University, Ethiopia, to the Honorable Ms. Viktoriia, as a Doctor of Economy Science, Associate Professor, Department of Healthcare Management, Odessa National Medical University from Ukraine, and last to the Honorable Ms. Risma Nurhapsari, as a Lecturer of Accounting Department from STEKOM, Indonesia. And last but not least, also to the Honorable guests and audience today. Before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes here. Today's session is live streamed on the Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel. And for today's event, we will start with Indonesia national anthems and continue with the opening speech by Dr. Teguh Santoso as a regular obstacle to the university. In the next session, we will begin the main event presentation by our special guests today and continue with the Q&A session and take a picture for the presentation. And last time is closing. Okay, first we will sing our national anthems. For the operator today, you can start the session. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And next, we will invite the most responsible person to the stage to conduct this skill international event to give an opening speech. For Ms. Rahmania, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Novita. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, scholars, and participants for around the world, good afternoon and welcome to this prestigious international webinar event. I stand before you today with great honor and privilege as representative of STEKOM University instead of our esteemed rector, who could not be here with us due to unforced circumstances. Nevertheless, I assure you that our university spirit and commitment to this international webinar event remain unwavering. Today, we gather here virtual from across the global, united by a common purpose to engage in meaningful dialogues, share knowledge, and foster collaboration on ethical leadership in business, building a culture integrity, a topic of paramount importance today. Despite the physical distance that separate use, the digital realm has brought us together in a way that transcends borders. This is a testament to the power of technology and the importance of continuous learning and global connection. I want to thank all the participants, this tangible speaker, and the organizational commit for your dedication and enthusiasm in making this event a reality. Your presence here demonstrate your commitment to achieving knowledge and addressing our world challenge. Throughout this webinar, we have the privilege of hearing from expert and thought leader who will share their insight, experience, and expertise on the role of networking in building success international business. Please actively participate, ask questions, and engage in discussion to maximize this valuable opportunity. As we continue today's discussion, let's use remember that engage idea and collaborating across border is essential to finding innovative solution to global issue. Let's your harness the collective wisdom of this different audience to drive positive change in respective field. In conclusion, I want to reaffirm our commitment to the participle of education, cooperation, and international understanding that bring us together today. Let's use honor this principle by actively engage in the upcoming session and forging new connection that will endure beyond the confine of this virtual event. Okay, thank you for your attention. With other delay, let's use begin this international webinar on ethical leadership in business building a culture of integrity. I'm confident that our shared pursuit of knowledge now no bends. Thank you. Okay, Miss Novita.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and we will go to the main event. For our audience, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat after each presenter already presentation. And today's session, each presenter will have about around 30 minutes for the presentation. Now, please welcome our first presenter, Ms. Risma Nurhapsari, as a lecturer of Accounting Department from STEKOM, Indonesia. For Ms. Risma, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Novita. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Mr. Abdul, please share my PPT. Okay, thank you. Okay, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Risma Nurhapsari, and I'm lecturer at STEKOM University. And today I will to share material with the time ethical leadership in the business, building a culture of integrity, with the title of material ethical leadership, building a culture of integrity. Okay. Ethical leadership. Ethical leadership building a culture of integrity. Ethical leadership is crucial for sustainable business success. It in this starts reputation and long-term value. This presentation explores the aspect of the ethical leadership and how it contributes to a positive and productive workplace. Okay, next, Mr. Abdul. I'm sorry. Defining ethical leadership. Quoting participle. Ethical leadership adhere to principles such as honest, fairness, respect, and responsibility, and they act with integrity and strive to do the right thing even when it's difficult. Role model ethical leadership embodied the values, the praise, the set the example for other, demonstrating the importance of ethical behavior throughout their own action. And then ethical leadership refers to the practice of leading by example, ensuring that decision and the action align with moral participle and honest and the integrity. And then key character of ethical leadership, honest, transparent, and truthful communication, integrity, consistently upholding ethical values in action and decision, accountability, taking responsibility for the action and outcome, and fairness, treating all stakeholders with equality and respect, and empathy, understanding, and considering the perspective of other, course, and standing up for what right even in the face or adversity. Okay, next, Mr. Abdul. The business case for ethics, number one is companies with strong ethic cultural attract and return to top talent, fostering a more engaged and productive workplace. And number two, customer more likely to do business with companies that trust ethical leadership, builds brand loyalty, and enhance customers' satisfaction. And number three, ethical behavior helps mitigation risks, reschedule legal and liability, and protects the company for the costly scandals and lawsuit. And the role of ethical leadership is building of a culture of integrity. Ethical leadership play a crucial roles in the shaping and organizing ethical climate. A leadership can, number one is set the ethical tone. This is a model ethical behavior and expectation for employee, and promote the transparency, ensure open communication, regulating policy and decision making, and then nurture ethical decision making, a profit employee with ethical guidelines and framework, and then please a safe reporting environment, a correct channel for reporting unethical behavior without fit or relation, and then uh enforce ethical standard. Uh, in the ethical standards, apply consistent disciplinary and measure for violation. Then, the business case for ethic. Okay, next, Mr. Abdul. Building an ethical culture is the key strategies. Code of conduct, a clear, definite code of conduct sets experience and provide guidance for ethical behavior. It shall be accessibility and regularly reward. And training and communication. Investing in ethics training helps employees understand and apply ethical principle. Open communication, foster and inform of ethical awareness and dialogue. And then number three is whistleblower protection. Providing safe and confidential system for reporting misconduct, ensures employee to speak and address ethical concern. Whistleblower protection program protects the who report untechnical behavior. Okay. And then strategy for implementing technical leadership. In the technical implementation for technical leadership, to effectively integrate ethical leadership into the organization lead result. And number one, develop a clear code of ethic, establish formal policy outline expected ethical behavior, and conduct ethical training program, educate employee on the ethical dealings and decision-making frameworks, foster a culture at open communication, ensures employees to voice concern and suggestion, and then recognition and reward ethical behavior, reinforce integrity towards acknowledgement in an incentive, and let by example demonstrate ethical values in everyday decision and action. Okay, next, Mr. Abdul. The role of uh, at the top. Lead march demonstrate a strong commitment to ethical behavior and culture where ethical values are priorities and reinforced. And number two is transparency and accountability are key. Leaders must be held responsible for their action and be transparent about their decision-making process. And open communication force and culture dialogue and feedback. Leaders should encourage everyone to share their perspective and concern. Okay, next. Okay. Case study ethical failures and success. The Enron scandal demonstrate the devastating consequence of ethical leadership. It led to the compliance scope and loss of investor confidence. And Patagonia has built a reputation for ethical business practice focused on environmental sustainability and social responsibility. The donate process the ourselves on environment cost and the priorities ethical search parties. Next, Mr. Abdul. This is measuring and monitor ethical culture. So number one is employee serve profit valuable instead into participation of ethic and can help identify area for improvement. Number two is hotline and a reporting system provider a channel from employer to report misconduct anonymously and confidently. Number three, regular audit and compliance check ensure adherence to ethical standard and compliance regulation. Okay, next. Okay, and this and then challenge in participable ethical leadership despite its benefit, ethical leadership faster for our challenge including number one is pressure to meet performance goals. Balancing ethical decision with business target. Number two is culture and ethical difference. Managing diverse ethical perspective within an organization. Number three is a resistance to change, overcoming reluctance and adopt ethical for reform, and lack of ethical awareness, ensuring that employees understand and importance of integrity. Case study and example. Real world example of ethical leadership can provide valuable insight. Notable case include Patagon's commitment to sustainability, demonstrating ethical leadership, and environmental responsibility. Number two, in Johnson and Johnson talents crisis management, priority customer safety and transparency in decision making. Number three is Satya Nadella's leadership at Microsoft, fostering in inclusive and ethical corporate culture. And then okay, I will give one case example. A case study is ethical leadership in business, building in culture of integrity. Okay, corporate background. Example, corporate XYZ is a multifunctional technology company known for its innovative product and strong market presence. Despite its success, the company faced ethical dilemmas, including allegation of the employee misrem, financial misreporting, and data privacy breach. The issue raised concern among stakeholders and tarnished the company reputation. The ethical challenge in 2018, okay, whistleblower proof that is used a corporation senior executive manipulate a financial report to meet investor expectation. Additionally, employee rate toxic work culture with unrealistic perform target the ensured ethical behavior. This relation, this revelation led to public backlash, legal action, and decline in stock value. And then the relationship response. The address this challenge, the newly appointed CEO Sarah Thompson took immediate action to restore ethical leadership and build a culture of the integrity. Her approach include number one is establishing ethical guiltiness. The company introduced a new code of ethics outline and expected behavior and ethical decision making framework. And number two, leadership accountability. Senior executive were required to undergo ethics training and adhere to transparent financial reporting standard. Number three, a whistleblower protection. Confidently reporting system was implemented to ensure employees to report unethical practices without fear or relation. Number four is cultural transformation, and the company redefined in corporate values and focusing on integrity, accountability, and respect. And then number five, employee training program. Ethics training workshop were conducted to educate employee on ethical dilemmas and responsibility business practice. And then number six is perform based incentive and compensation and reward were restructured to promote ethical behavior rather than slowly focusing on financial perform. Okay, within 2 years, XGY corporation saw significant improvement. Okay, employee engagement, customer trust and brand reputation were restored. Legal case and company were resolved, and transparent corporation with regulation and financial stability improve as investor regain confidence in the company ethical leadership. Okay. Okay, Miss Novita, thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation, Ms. Risma. And we have 3 questions from participants. Yeah, for first question from Ms. Kinan, how can ethical leadership contribute to building a culture of integrity in an organization? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kinan. Ethical leadership foster a culture of integrity by setting a clear example for honest, equitability, and fairness. And leaders will constantly demonstrate ethical behavior, create an environment where employee feel assured to act with integrity. The establish transparent policies, enforce ethical guidelines, and ensure that ethical conduct is rewarded rather than overlooked. And additional, ethical leaders promote open communication and empower employees to voice concern about unethical behavior without fear of retaliation, building organizational value with ethical decision making, leader build trust and reinforce a culture where integrity becomes the norm. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question from Ms. Paulina, what are some practical strategies that ethical leader can implement to ensure integrity within their team? Thank you.
Okay, Miss Paulina, I'm answer your question. What are some practice strategy that ethical leader can implement to ensure integrity within their team? Leading by example, demonstrating ethical behavior in decision making, communication, and interaction, and establishing a clear code of ethics, defining organization value and expectation, regenerating integrity, and then providing ethical training, conducting regular work shop to get employee and ethical dilemmas and best practice, and then ensuring open communication, creating a safe space for employees to discuss ethical concern without fear or retaliation, and uh, enforcing accountability, holding everyone, including leadership, responsible for ethical conduct, and recognition and rewarding ethical behavior, ensuring integrity by acknowledging employees who uphold ethical standard. Okay, thank you, Miss Novita.
Yeah, thank you. And then the last question, please, from Mr. Abdul, please give an example of an ethical leader in business. Thank you.
Okay, given example for an ethical leader is business. Ethical leader in business refers to lead with integrity, honest, and fairness while ensuring the business decision align with moral participant. It is important because it's force trust, enhance a company reputation, and create a positive work environment that ensure ethical behavior among employees. Okay, thank you, Miss Novita.
Thank you for your presentation. I hope this answer will be beneficial for our participant. And then we will go to the second speaker, Miss Viktoriia Borshch, as a Doctor of Economic Science, Associate Professor, Department of Healthcare Management from Odessa National Medical University from Ukraine. for Miss Viktoriia. The time is yours. Thank you.
Hello, do you see my presentation and do you hear me?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I'm very grateful to be here as a part of your webinar, and I hope that it will be very successful as for us while discussing this very interesting question of the ethical leadership, and of course for the students, for our listeners, because we will open such questions that really stands between the ethics, management, leadership, psychology, and so on. So thank you for the STEKOM University for such opportunity to participate in this scientific discussion on this issue. And first of all, let me introduce a little bit myself. I'm the professor of the Department of Healthcare Management, and today I present Ukrainian University, Odessa National Medical University, which this year will be 125 years old. And I also present the Department of Healthcare Management, and some areas of my research interest is healthcare management, managerial performance, and of course personnel management. And as you know, it includes leadership issues as well. And this is some my PhD and doctoral theses. So you see that this question of ethical leadership is one of those very important for me issues that I research for a long period of time. So, who is the ethical leader? As for me, the ethical leader understands the role of transparency, integrity, trust, and accountability in creating resilient and sustainable business. So this is the leader who stands before the people and who understands what his or her employees wants and have to be done. An ethical leader involves prioritizing values of respect, honesty, integrity, and community over easy profits. So the first for the ethical leader must be the values of his team or her team, of the company, of the people with whom he or she works. And these priorities stand over the profit. Because ethical leaders consider the moral implication of every decision they make, their actions always lead their organization towards solid long-term success. When we implement ethical leadership in organization, in business, we understand that we have to build the strategy of leadership, the strategy of managing people, and this must be on the several principles which we talk about later. By setting consistent examples of ethical behavior, these leaders inspire their teams to spot and mend ethical issues. This enables the organization to maintain legal and regulatory compliance. So, the ethical leader is an example for his team. The ethical leader has to motivate, not just stimulate. And we will see a little bit later the types between some leadership styles. And we will see that ethical leadership is much bigger than the management is. So, There are some principles of ethical leadership. We understand that we can talk about a lot of principles, but the main are respect, honesty, accountability, transparency, and altruism. So we will stay a little bit on each of these principles. Respect. Leaders should create a business community where every individual feels valued and heard. So each employee in the organization had to be heard. Acknowledging the skills and contributions of everyone of the personnel in the company is the essence of what is respect. So we have to hear everybody, everyone in the company. This dignity should exist for everyone, regardless of their role or background. So, nevertheless, is the top management or the manager of the lowest level, or not just a manager, another professional in the company, we have to hear them, and it is very important to implement what he or she says in this organization. The next principle is honesty. When a leader strives to be ethical, they must build trust within the organization by always communicating openly and truthfully. Furthermore, we have to build the feedback between our employees and our managers. And honesty can create a foundation for genuine collaboration, which fosters long-term loyalty among employees and their stakeholders of the organization. And this loyalty has an immense impact on the bottom line of the company. So what we are talking about, that honesty between in our communication, when we want to say something to our employees or another stakeholders like investors or our suppliers, or our clients, we have to be honest in our decisions. We have to be honest in our words, in our activities, and that's why we will, and then just then we will build the real strong communication and real strong activities between us. Integrity. Integrity is another principle which is also very important for ethical leadership, because integrity, when building integrity, leaders must uphold a commitment to doing the right thing even when it is very difficult to do. Why? We see in both life and in business, actions speak louder than words. Now, for example, in Ukraine, we see a lot of words about our war situation. But when we see the actions, we understand that these leaders of these countries do something, and those leaders of another countries, they don't do anything. So that's why the sentences, the words, actions speak louder than words is very important for ethical leadership, because we understand that we really do what we say. And these actions are very important, not just for employees, but another stakeholders that will be loyal for us when we really do these actions. So this will inspire our employees and our stakeholders to be with us and to be the part of our business organization. Accountability. It's another very important principle of ethical leadership because it develops when everyone within an organization takes responsibility for their decisions and outcomes, both positive and negative. So we are responsible not for our words and actions. We are responsible for the outcomes that we will get afterwards. Ethical leaders, they answer for their actions, no matter the outcome is. When leaders take accountability for their actions, it is much easier for accountability to spread throughout the organization. So everybody in organization will understand what we want to do and what will be the outcome of these actions and what will be the responsibility for our actions. And another principle, it is transparency. It is crucial to establish an ethical organization. By sharing information openly, leaders promote trust and they prevent misunderstanding throughout the business. They prevent misunderstanding in the team. They prevent misunderstanding with another stakeholders like investors, consumers, and so on. So transparent leaders create a culture of openness that strengthens relationships and drives informed decision making. And then we understand that this transparent organization is very important for our stakeholders. And altruism, we understand that to act of promoting someone else's welfare is very important for our organization. When we feel the needs of another people, we understand that we have to make them real. Leaders can do this at their work, both within and outside of the organization. And that's why it must be a part of motivation mechanism in their personnel management. These managers can show altruism externally throughout the community involvement to the ethical business organization, but they can also show altruism internally by taking care of the needs of all employees. So we see that these principles are very important for organization if it wants to build the ethical leadership in its system. So why the ethical leadership is so important for business success? And I want to answer for this question with these words. You have to start with the trust. The trust is the only way that we can get anywhere. So if we want organization, company to be ethical, we have to be the trustful community, the trustful environment within the organization and outside of organization with the principle of openness, transparency, and so on. So ethical leadership strengthens organizational culture. How does it do it? The leader has to tap into the power of being authentic. They are armed with an intrinsic motivation to help their teams achieve their goals. These leaders set a positive example for their employees at all levels of managerial structure. By weaving a culture with the threads of fairness, honesty, respect, transparency, and accountability, ethical leaders infuse a strong sense of community within the organization they serve. So we build organizational culture, effective organizational culture. Ethical leadership also helps attract and retain top talent. What is very important for us? We have to build a very effective, responsible team within the organization, and that's why ethical leadership on those principles build on those principles which were I talking about previous. Will build the top and will retain top talent in our organization. It was a study in management and psychology that showed a strong link between employee job satisfaction and ethical leadership. And ethical leadership is one of the strongest reasons employees choose to work in this organization and choose to stay in this organization. Because when employees know that their leaders are always fair, honest, transparent, they naturally feel more engaged and at home and at their workplace. Hiring, training, retaining talents is an expensive affair for each company in all parts of the world. By boosting the job satisfaction of employees, ethically led companies even benefit financially from happy teams. So when we are talking about the ethical leadership, about the retaining and attracting top talent, we are talking about the benefiting financially of those best employees which will stay in our organization and which will bring the profit, the highest profit to our organization. So ethical leadership creates a positive impact, a positive view of our organization on hiring and retaining employees. Ethical leadership, it boosts customer loyalty. Just like how employees want to work with organizations that share their beliefs, customers prefer to associate with businesses that reflect strong moral values. And we will see some examples of brands that use ethical leadership in their and share ethical leadership. And you will see which are them. And most customer brand preference are driven by this position of ethical leadership. Today, more than 60% of shoppers are now seeking, for example, eco-friendly brands. And ethical leaders play an important role in making their organizations resonate with their customers in this position. So you want to be to buy eco-friendly products. And yes, we are here with eco-friendly products. We are transparent in this and so on. So this is our marketing and for our customers also. And of course, ethical leadership appeals to investors. When we are transparent, when we are honest in all what we are doing, investors are more likely to invest in this business and to share these values with us. Why? Because organizations that act immorally are slapped with hefty. And these financial losses can significantly lower the value of investment stocks, making them too risky to invest in these businesses. So, ethical leadership improves company reputation and trust. It enhances employees' moral and engagement. It reduces legal and compliance risks. It attracts ethical investors and customers, and it drives long-term profitability and sustainability for our organization. And here is some examples of ethical leadership in business. And one of it was Johnson's and Johnson's company. It is a classical case of ethical leadership. In 1982 in Chicago area, 12-year-old girl woke up with a cold. Her parents gave her a tablet of extra strength Tylenol to ease her symptoms of symptoms, and within hours this girl has died. 6 more deaths followed after this, and the connective factor between them was having taken extra strength Tylenol shortly before passing away. It was later discovered that the tablets were laced with cyanide, a chemical that interferes with the body's ability to use oxygen. And company Johnson & Johnson had an ethical dilemma, what to do with this situation, and they understood that it will be a disaster if they won't say anything to the public. And the manager of this company, he acted very quickly and pulled Tylenol products off the shelves of the apotheques and shops, and 31 million bottles worth over $100 billion were lost, and it was really loss for the company. And they stopped all production and advertising of this product. It was really financial disaster for Johnson & Johnson company, but their decision were ethical because even of incredible costs and losses, and they really understood that if they won't stop the production of this Tylenol, they will be in the very big problem in some months, years, if more deaths of children will be worldwide. So when it became clear that the problem is with these tablets, the product was renewed. The cyanide were put off the tablet, and these Tylenol were returned to the store, and the Johnson & Johnson excused, and they have paid the insurance for these parents, and the problem was decided. Another situation or an example of ethical leadership in business is Starbucks racial bias incident. If one of your employees made a critical decision based on racial bias, how would you respond? Starbucks in April 2014 has faced with this problem when one of their employee was not being ethical with some customers. And the manager called the police, who arrested this employee. Although no charges were filed, the arrest went viral and sparked protests through the United States. The Starbucks had really big problem of this non-ethical racial incident, and but Starbucks has decided they have fired this employee, and they have paid this customer compensation. They have publicly excused, and it really has decided this problem. So we see that when we are truthful, where we are honest, where we are transparent with all stakeholders, inner and external, we understand that we can be ethical leaders. So another example I would like to say, it is the survey that were held by our organization. We have a study of leadership styles that prevail in healthcare sector in Ukrainian medical institution. Here is on the slide the characteristics of the respondents who took part in this survey. in general, the survey involved 125 respondents who belong to the field of healthcare. 45% occupy senior positions, so this is the top management in healthcare, and 55% are medical personnel of medical healthcare institutions, and another part works in the medical university. And what our study has shown, we can understood how people understand leaderships, and how do they see their features in healthcare. The respondents said that effective healthcare leaders have to be clear in their vision of the future of their company. As you see, it is more than 90%. These leaders have to be adaptive and proactive in their decisions. They have to provide for an open dialogue with the public. They have to concern for staff welfare, and they are morally responsible for all the actions and words that are in organization. So summing up, we can say that the leadership in healthcare is not a statistic role, but a dynamic force that forms the system of the medical care, of the organization culture, of the effectiveness of the organization, and so on. And if you understand, this is not just about the healthcare, it is the small example of our survey, but we can do such a survey in another business environments, and we will see that the features of the leadership are the same for any business organization as for healthcare. What we have also understood that there are some main leadership styles in healthcare which managers use. Of course, first of all, but fortunately, it is 18% of bureaucratic style of leadership. We understand that is the worst option for the managers and for the leaders. We understand that this is traditional bureaucratic system which exists from existing traditions in the organization. Employees follow the leader's instruction because they believe they have to do it. Leaders expect the team to follow strict rules and regulations accurately, and this leadership style focuses on standard duties within the hierarchical system. So we see the low level of ethic in this leadership style. Another common leadership style which were understood as a result of our study is autocratic leadership style. This style is described as being as leaders' behavior that asserts absolute authority and control over their subordinates and demands unquestionable obedience from subordinates. So these leaders control and just control, and they don't leave for any autonomy for their group. And it is, you understand that this is another bad variant of the leadership style. Another leadership style is transactional. 27% of respondents answered that they use this leadership style in healthcare organization. This style use rewards and punishment to motivate and direct their subordinates. This approach to leadership, also sometimes referred to as managerial leadership, it emphasizes the importance of structure, organization, supervision, performance, and outcomes. But another type of leadership that is preferable for our organization, for the ethical leadership, is transformational leadership. And we will talk further about this main leadership style, which must be in each business organization which want to be ethical. Transformational leadership style. transformational leaders try to sell their ideas and vision to their followers. They want to motivate them for their goals, to make the common goals for each organization, and they act under those principles, what are very important for the ethical leadership in the business. Transformational leaders, they achieve the ethical standards beyond their work. Transformational leaders know how to encourage, to inspire, to motivate their employees to perform in ways that they create meaningful change. And the result of their common work is the innovation, is the common goal which are set up before our personnel, and we share these for our future success. So you see 4 main leadership styles in healthcare which we use, but for us, it's very important to understand that we have to be the transformational leaders if we want to be successful and ethical. When we talk about the main characteristic of transformational leader, we understand we have to have emotional intelligence, we have to be professionally managed, we have to have cognitive abilities. And as for transformational leaders, we work with these characteristics, and we have to develop these characteristics in ourselves. So it is very important for us to be individualized consideration, inspirational motivation, idealized influence, and intellectual stimulation. So we use these 4 main methods for manage our employees if we want to be ethical and if we want to really be transformational in our organization. And what factors influence for the leadership style and for the leadership in healthcare? As you see, we also analyzed it in our survey. And of course, first of all, we can say that the national industrial cultural expectations, of course, specific challenges of healthcare, and of course, some national managerial model itself influence the formation of leadership styles in business. And what we have to do if we want to build the ethical company and if we want to build a culture of integrity. Our main idea is culture of integrity. We understand that now we have traditional management, we use it, and our goal is to build culture of integrity in our business organization. First of all, we have to set the tone and the top at the top of our organization. So these leadership roles must be shared in the company's values. So we have to form these company share values, and we have to share them with all our employees and all our stakeholders. Then we have to establish clear ethical guidelines which our employees will use for their actions further. Then we have to understand how to guide ethical choices. We have to build ethical decision-making frameworks for all our employees, all processes which company do. Then we have to encourage transparency. So we have to implement these ideas, these frameworks, these guidelines into all the processes which are held by our organization. And then continuous ethic training. So not just to implement, but we have to teach our employees how to be ethical in all their behavior. So if we will use all these 5 steps, we will create corporate social responsibility beyond the company, and we will build the culture of integrity in our organization. And as we wrap up, let's remember that the ethical leadership is not just about following the rules. It's about creating a legacy of integrity that influences businesses, employees, societies as a whole. Ethical leadership isn't always the easiest path which we use, but it is the one that leads to lasting trust, respect, and successful. For the end of my presentation, I want to say by Warren Buffett's words, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. So what do we have to do? We have to answer 2 main questions. Will my leadership inspire trust, and will I choose integrity even when it's difficult? So if you want to be ethical in your business organization, in your actions, you have always to remember these 2 rules. I can work hard for my reputation, but I can ruin it for 1 second. And I have always answered 2 main questions. What have I to inspire, and how I have to inspire, and what I choose for it. So thank you. I hope that I encourage you to embrace the challenge of ethical leadership in your careers. And if you have some questions, I can answer now for them. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. And we have question from participant already read in the Zoom chat. From first question from Mr. Mahen. Many companies promote ethical leadership, yet corporate scandals still happen. What are the biggest challenges in ensuring that ethical values are truly followed in business operation? Thank you.
Thank you, Mahen. I can tell, first of all, as I have told today, the problem is to understand what are the financial losses and what are the ethical losses of our corporation. Sometimes ethical losses of our corporation, they are more big than we have financial losses. And that's why we have to stop to think about it and to count what we will lose financially, but we have to understand that our responsibilities, our view of organization at the market, at the community, it must much profitable that we will lose financially. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then the second question is ethical leadership always compatible with profit maximization? How can leaders balance ethical decision making with financial performance in highly competitive industry? The question from Mr. Rendra. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, ethical leadership, it influence directly the profit, and that's why we can say that it really make a profit maximization. And that's why we have to understand that reputation, and really one of the activities of the company is their reputation, and we can account it and we can put in numbers of dollars or another yes, currency. So we have to understand that it is really maximize our profit. And we now see, for example, the example of the Tesla company. Its head, Elon Musk, made some wrong decisions, and we see how the profit and shares value of this company loses at the marketplace. And that's why we see a great example how to do it and how to be ethical in this position.
Okay, thank you. And then we have two questions again from Mr. Chandra. Many businesses operate in multiple countries with different cultural norms. So ethical leadership be universal, or should company adapt their ethical standard based on local business practice? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. It's really a nice question. Yes, we have to understand the ethical standards in every culture of every country we go to. So if we will go to the Asian marketplace, we understand that there is some multiplied cultures, and we have to, firstly, we have to analyze these cultural aspects of this marketplace or this country, and we have to build this ethical emphasis just for this country. If we go to European country, we understand that each country in European Union, in European continent, has also different cultural aspects, and we have to analyze them. So we have to go to understand them, and we have to implement to our business strategy. I have a great example of this. The company that many years ago, the company Procter & Gamble, they had the aspirin as in the tablet forms, and they wanted to go to the Asian market. I think it is Iraq or Iran, I don't remember the country, and they used the normal banner, outside banner for advertising their aspirin, and it was consisting from the three pictures. First of all, the man takes his head because he had a headache. Another picture, he put the tablet into his mouth and drank water. And the third picture was he is happy, he didn't have the headache. But they didn't use the cultural aspect that the in this country they write not from the left part but from the right part, and the people read from the right part. People are happy, they drink the tablet, and they are sad because their headache of this tablet, because of this tablet. And they lost a lot of financials because of this advertising, I'm sorry. And that's why it was really a problem for them. They moved from this market, they learned the cultural aspects of this country, they made another advertising company, and afterwards they secondly they went to this marketplace.
Thank you. And then the last question, are ethical leaders born or made? Can ethical leadership be taught and developed through training program, or is it primarily a personal trait? The question from Mr. Haikal. Thank you.
Thank you. As I say to my students, we can be managers and we can be entrepreneurs. To be an entrepreneur, we have to be born for it, first of all, because it is another thinking. These people, they can be risky, they don't afraid of this risk. And leaders and managers, they are responsible for their company, they are responsible for their employees, for all the employees. And of course, we have to understand three parts of the leadership. It is professional skills, managerial, and so on. It is critical thinking, and of course, emotional intelligence. To be professional, we are learning in the university. For critical skills and critical thinking, we have to be learned, we have to be born, but of course we can learn for it hardly at school, at the university, and by ourselves. And to be emotionally intelligent, it is a very big task for us, because yes, we can learn to be emotional intelligent, but also we have to be burnt with empathic, with kindness, with some talents to understand people, to motivate people. So yes, we have to be burned, and we have to develop these skills each day in ourselves.
Yeah, thank you for answering. I think it's very clear answer from Professor Ra. Yeah, we apologize before for Mr. Ereso Negi cannot join in this session today because several technical issues in there. Yeah, before I proceed on, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the top of three. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And another 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of webinar today. We would like to thank you for Miss Viktoriia and Miss Nurhapsari for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for our participants. At least we are for collaboration in the future. The webinar for today and we have to switch. So thank you and have a nice day. Bye.